Yo, what's going on, ladies and DeGents? Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Distinguished DeGents podcast. You're one of many homes of degenerate gambling. Back for week 14, win or go home week. It is me, Steve Cinny Abeda, not Big Bucks, with the 86 101 and 2 record. Not doing so great in these last few weeks, but I am the co-host of this podcast. But joining me is the one and only Mr. Mortgage Money himself, Mr. Money Mansman. Oh boy. I think I just have to give you the floor for a few minutes. I'm not going to just sit here and be like, how you doing? What's going on? Nah, man. Mortgage bet fucking comes through. Best bet comes through. Your goddamn fate of the week comes through. Just
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I mean, Jesus, take a bow, sir. Go ahead and just let me get it.
Well, sir, I remember you asked why are all those sharps betting on Cincinnati, and
it was Carolina
or Carolina. Oh, geez, see, shows you how quickly things change. But no, you were saying I try and told you, and Carolina has been one of those teams that I've made money off of all year, literally playing them on the rebound. And once again, Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers come through for me one more time. But the real story, we very rarely declare a legit mortgage bet.
Very rarely.
The Seattle Seahawks, biggest bet I've probably made in 10 years. And that was literally about as never in doubt as you could possibly get.
Scary in the first quarter, but that was about it.
First half, good. Well, I got to say, that terrible pick six really saved us with the first half. But the game spread, never in doubt. Really, the game itself, never in doubt. What can I say? It was a great week, probably my best week of the year. And, middle of the year, I tend to get hot before freezing the last few weeks of the year. I'm hoping that this year I can keep it going. You're only as good as your last week's record. So,
yeah,
let's see if I can keep it going.
Last week's record for me, I did exclude the Thanksgiving games from our spread, but even if I did include it, wouldn't have made a difference because in our contest, I think both of us ended up picking every favorite in the covers, and we each lost. So I'm washing it. I only went 5-7 for the Sunday and Monday night games last week. So yeah, not even 50%. I don't even think I'm 45% anymore on the year. I was hovering 50 for a while. This is the phase of the year where I just get ice fucking cold, and I can't hit a fucking barn to save my life, even with a 50 cal. So with that said, I like desperately needing to bounce back. And I'm sure you love the title I made. It's win or go home week. Me and you, final week in our fantasy football league that we are in every year with our buddy Vitrell. And we're head to head, but I think you're locked in and I'm eliminated officially.
Yeah, you versus me. The winner gets absolutely fucking nothing because I'm locked into the 3 seed.
I'm officially eliminated because all the other teams have one more win up on me. And I'm pretty sure all but one of them have beaten me in the head-to-head. So
I can tie with the top 2 teams in the league, but they've each beaten me head-to-head. Last week was a disaster for my fantasy football team. Absolute fucking nightmare. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a goose egg because he got hurt in that Thanksgiving game. And that was the beginning of the end of just a horrible, horrible week of fantasy football for me.
Yikes. I mean, I managed to beat our buddy Nick, who was, I think, he was in the lead for the division. Now it's interesting because now it's tied. So, but either way, we got a lot of hate week games. We have a lot of win or go home, do or die, playoff on the line games. I mean, this might be, in my opinion, this might be the best week of football we have seen all year. I have a real, especially with that Lions Cowboys game, the way that even went.
Yeah.
I think we've got a lot of exciting, good football headed our way.
No, I agree completely. The Thursday night game was, well, it wasn't so good for me because I picked Dallas, but
I did too. Bet on Detroit though. That's the weird thing. I bet on
Huh.
Dallas +5. I had Dallas 5.5 in the contest, but I saw Detroit go down to 3.5. Amon-Ra was starting, so I was like,
huh.
I'm gonna hit
Yeah,
that.
it's a weird part of the year because you never know at this point in the year, and I think they've talked about it a lot. I think there's some teams that they're just expecting to fall off, and the ones that come to mind: Denver, New England, Chicago. They just keep rolling right along. Every week you expect them to maybe have a down week, falter, but they just keep finding ways to win.
And what's even crazier, I'm looking at the standings as of right now. There's only, I think, I want to say 3 teams that have officially been eliminated from playoffs.
Mhm.
Not a single other team has clinched a spot. Think about that for a second.
Yeah,
We're in week
crazy.
14 of the NFL season. We only have this week and 4 more weeks. Not one team has clinched a spot. That is how tight of a race we're looking at. But a lot of that could change this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the AFC, and I'll tell you what, if the results go against the Ravens and Bills this week, you could have a situation where the top 3 teams in the AFC last year are all out of the playoffs this year. Unbelievable.
That could be crazy. And I mean, and think of it, like the Broncos, 10-2, haven't clinched, haven't even gotten a playoff spot. The Patriots, 11-2, have not clinched, have not gotten a playoff spot. Could change this week, but I think Patriots are on bye, so that's not.
Yeah.
It might be possible, might not. Denver, I think, and I'll talk about this later. Denver has the chance to officially kick the Chiefs out of the division, and the only thing they could get is a wild card. I think it comes down to if they win.
Wow. Big week, buddy. Big week.
Denver beats the Raiders this week. The Chiefs cannot win the division. I want to say. Very big week. Okay, how many games do we have on the slate today? I want to say it's at like 13, maybe 14 games. I did mention Dallas, Detroit. Detroit won. I think it was 44-30 was the final. Jahmyr Gibbs, big game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, bounce back spot. Unfortunately, you didn't start him, but you know. God, Dallas now, like they were looking like they were getting ready to heat up, and it's just like every time they face real competition, they get smacked the fuck back down. And I know CD Lamb going into the concussion kind of hurt them at the end, but like you would have thought George Pickens could have picked it up. You would have thought Javonte Williams would have had more chances. Seemed like CD went out and they quit.
I think you just see how hard it is. When you're a team that starts off the year bad and you need to catch up, you're seeing how hard it is to kind of do that. Just because you have to be so perfect, you can't afford to have a letdown. Like, the benefit of the Bills having 3 losses and losing to Houston is that they're still in playoff position. Whereas if you're a team like Dallas, like Baltimore, like Pittsburgh now, Houston, another loss potentially dooms your season. So that's the toughest thing when you start out so bad. You almost have to expend all that energy just to kind of get back to 500. And that's what Dallas did, and didn't work out for them. So,
yeah,
kind of a shame. They're a fun team. They're like a fun team to watch because their games are just crazy. But yeah, not kind of a prototypical Dallas performance. they get you hyped up, and then they drop a big game in an important spot.
You can't argue with that logic. I'll give you a break here. Before we get started, Mr. Mansman, we had a incinerator bet.
Oh boy,
on the Rams and Panthers.
Oh boy, the Sinner Man. I think you need to change your nickname. Forget Steve the Sinner Man, Beta.
You know what? I'll let it that once I take this. Every time I bet on Manson, it never goes my way. Although the last couple were good. I think I was a little too confident. I was a little smelling
To
myself.
be fair, I didn't think the Panthers would win outright. That was crazy.
Yeah. Well, this goes to week 13 and my shitty records. This is a turn to a new page. Why do we do the incinerator bets? It's to make ourselves better.
Exactly.
The more I do these, the more it's like, wow, I really should just listen. I really should just, if it happens, really got to think about it. So,
yeah, negative reinforcement. There you go.
Okay.
Oh. That looked painful. Yeah, let's do it, buddy. Let's do it.
All right.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now.
We're starting with this game? Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we're starting good. Monty Manson's a little under the weather, so I got to get him going strong to carry the show. The Buffalo Bills are coming back home, Orchard Park in Highmark Stadium. They are hosting Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bills are 8-4. Bengals 4-8. Bengals are catching 6 on the road as an underdog, plus 235. Bills are minus 290, and the total is now a flat 53 on Bet365. Money Mansman, this is your team. I usually give you the honors, so take it away while you still got the energy.
Well, thank you, buddy. So this game scares me as a Bills fan because everyone remembers that playoff game when Joe Burrow and the Bengals came into Buffalo, beat the Bills at home. Got a couple injuries on defense. No Joey Bosa. Offense, passing game hasn't looked great. We were able to run the air out of the ball against the Steelers. Here's my thinking with this game. Cincinnati on Thanksgiving went into Baltimore and basically ran roughshod over the Ravens. Was that their sort of one game to kind of show up? Are they going to be able to follow that up going into Buffalo and beating the Bills? I don't think so. I don't think that their defense is going to be able to stop the Bills' running game. And I think if Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over, this defense has played okay enough to hold Burrow, who's only playing his second game back from injury. The number scares me because I do think this game could end close, and I don't see Cincinnati just dying, but I do I do think the Bills are going to win this game. I think when the Bills have lost and struggled, it's been on the road, and it's been when their offense hasn't been able to score. Remember the Atlanta game. Remember the Houston game. I just don't see Cincinnati's defense being able to stop James Cook in this Buffalo Bills offense. No, I didn't say Josh Allen. James Cook in this Buffalo Bills offense. So I'm going to place my faith in James, let James cook, and I think the Bills will win. I don't know if I would bet the Bills minus 6.5 stuff. Play that number at your own risk because this this game reeks of, 37-34, 38-34, high scoring. I think we could see that.
Fair enough. Actually, I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna do it. Although it was between this and another game. I'm making this my fade of the week. And I'm gonna fade the Bills coming off that big Steelers win, and with them gonna be at home as a 6-point home favorite. I just think this number is way too high for the spot. And when I watched that Steelers game, I saw Aaron Rodgers cannot hand the ball off correct to save his life. I saw a withered old man who couldn't throw. And I saw a game where Josh Allen really didn't have to do anything. And as you mentioned, James Cook was the offense in this spot. Now, you don't think the Bengals can carry it over. The only reason I think they do, it's Joe Burrow. I think if this was a Joe Flacco game where Flacco came in and beat the Ravens with that score, I'd 100% back you. But it's Joe Burrow again. It's Joe Burr season, if you remember that. Joe Burr in December, he is 10-3 straight up in his career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On the road in the month of December, he is 6-2 straight up in ATS. As a road underdog in the month of December, he is 2-1 straight up in ATS. And reason number 2, these were small opportunities, albeit that we saw. He's 2-0 against Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Technically, it would have been 3-0, but that was the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the game, too. Now, again, 3 different games. What's changed for the Bills? I hate to say it, not much for the better. Bills have not exactly improved any differently from the last few times I saw the Bengals play the Bills. The Bengals, sometimes, I hear your thoughts where it's your record says what your record is. Your record is who you are. But I think this is a case where the Bengals, your record is what it is without Joe Burrow. I think when you have Joe Burrow, those close one-score games you tend to lose. Joe Burrow is a guy who wins those. And I just don't think that this 4-8 Bengals is the same as who they are now with Burrow. Number 3, and ironically, and I don't know how you feel about this, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown on that O-line probably being out for this game, that concerns me a lot because I saw what the Texans did.
Brown is out. Dawkins is back.
Okay. That actually makes me feel a little better for the Bills money line because that is my pick. I have the Bills to win. I'm going to take them in another contest, but at 6, this just seems like a game that Joe Burrow just back and forth, Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow. And if Josh, between the two quarterbacks, who do I think is going to fall behind? It'll be Josh. It's just what's been happening all year. Josh has been the one that had to play from behind, not necessarily Joe. And even when the Bengals have had to play from behind, they've managed to drive it down the field against everybody and keep it close. T. Higgins is coming out of concussion protocol. I think that helps the Bengals case. I will say this, though. I found this stat for the Bills. The Bills at home in the month of December, 8 straight victories at home. And if Josh Allen does manage to do Josh Allen things, he probably pulls this off and he gets the win. And I know a lot of people are pissed. Oh my God, Josh Allen did nothing. The former MVP barely did a thing. Well, they beat the shit out of the Steelers, though. They're a playoff caliber team. I mean, not a good one, but they are a playoff caliber team.
I was going to say, the Bills aren't good enough to look pretty. They just need to win. We're not good enough. We're not Denver.
That's what they're doing. They're winning. This very, I think this very well is a win or go home type of match. If the Bengals win out, they're 9-8. Wild card's not out of the picture, and especially right now, if they beat the Bills, this could be for the playoffs for the Bengals. The Bills, on the other hand, look, they're 8-5, and they're staring at wild card in the face because the Chargers, the Colts, the Jags, they're 8-4. The Texans are 7-5. They beat the Bills already. The Chiefs, they've already lost to the Bills, but they're 6-6. They're not too far behind on their tail. And if the Broncos win and the Chiefs are only looking at wild card, it's going to get tight. And no team is dead. Dolphins are 5-7 right now behind the Bills. They're only 2 games behind, which is crazy to think about because of how bad Miami's been. But Miami split with the Bills. So is it going to come down to a weird tiebreaker? I think this is a game you get Joe Burrow at his best. And they constantly, all year, even in the bad losses, they've been playing close. And I think 6 is just too high of a number. And that's too much respect for a Bills team that's been inconsistent.
Yeah, I can't fault your handicap. I'm not gonna argue too much against your fade of the week. I think if you're gonna fade the Bills, now's the time. They beat up a withered old man, elder abuse. Now's the time, I guess, to fade them.
Yeah, I'm fading them on the points. It's a great teaser leg either way. I think if you took the Bengals up to 12, I don't hate it. If you took the Bills to the money line because you really think they're going to win, I don't fault the logic. I mean, the Bengals have barely won all year, admittedly, but I just think with Joe Burrow, they're a different team. And
I will say, if you want an over the year contender, it's your game.
The only thing that scares me off the over of the week, which, I don't even think I had one listed. I've got a couple contenders, but this is the only thing that scares me about this one is every time we think there's going to be an over game, one of two things happens. It either happens in the fourth, constantly with the Bills and the Chiefs. It's like a high 51-52 and it goes to the fourth quarter and it's only been 24. And then all of a sudden it just goes haywire and the over hits and it goes to overtime. You never know. I feel like the Bengals are the same situation. It's low scoring, boring. This one's going to be out in the elements. So 53 is a high number where 27-24 would miss. But I don't see that out of the realm of possibility. I could see this being a 21-20. Bengals kick a 3 at the 2-minute drill, and then Josh drives and wins.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wouldn't surprise me in one bit. So, all right, we got more games. I'm ready to move on. Let's go. It's the Indianapolis Colts, 8-4, second now in the AFC South. They're going to the first place Jacksonville Jaguars, who are also 8-4. But the Jags are a home underdog, plus 1.5, plus 110 on the money line. Colts are minus 130, 46.5 is the total. Money Management, I think he did step away for a second. I'll take this over.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I just stepped away for 1 minute.
No, you're good. We'll wait for him to come back. I'll go ahead and take over here. Well, I gave out a fade of the week. Might as well back it up. We're going to make this my dog of the week. Give me the Jags on the money line, plus 110. Pure float chart decision type of game. These are two teams, in my opinion. They're heading in opposite directions. The Jags have won 10 straight at home versus this Indianapolis Colts franchise. Doesn't matter who the coach was. Doesn't matter who the quarterback was. 10 straight. This game I don't really necessarily have a model. I put these teams. I have this at a pick 'em. And I'm looking at the picks here. Indianapolis Colts are getting 67% of the money and bets on the money line. They're only getting about 49% of the spread, though. Seems a little weird to me. I don't they're confident in a money line, but if this game's a pick 'em, you're not going to take them to win by 2. I mean, to be honest, how many games do we see really end by 1? Not too many. So this just I'm looking at these and it's wow, you're confident that they'll win. You're not confident they'll win by 2. Doesn't seem like you're that confident. Especially in a spot where, I mentioned earlier, the Jags just win in this spot. But also too, I think this is just the Sharps way of fading Trevor because of these betting splits. And look, Cinderella is getting close to midnight the longer the season goes. But I think the same could be said for the Colts and Daniel Jones. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They have not covered in 3 straight as favorites. They're only 2-3 straight up on the road this year. But the Jags, on the other hand, at home, They've covered 3 straight at home. They're 4-2 straight up in ATS at home. And with Daniel Jones essentially in like a Duke University prototype boot that's keeping his leg intact from a broken fibula, which, Mansman, I've broken my leg. Let me tell you, that shit is painful. It's not fun. So whatever they're doing, like, look, Daniel Jones has my respect, but like lately he has not been himself. And this is where I think stubbornness sometimes comes into play. If you want to let him play, that's fine. If it was a healthy Daniel Jones and I was getting this line, I think the splits would be a lot higher. But the fact that it just seems like there's so much doubt as it is. I'm gonna just take the home division dog that normally wins in this spot anyways. And this is going to be my dog of the week.
Well, buddy, it's not just your dog of the week. Call it a double dog. It's my dog of the week. You knew it was coming. Jacksonville plus 1.5.
Back-to-back weeks with a double dog.
Bro, NFC West, AFC South are the flowchart divisions. How many times have we seen it? There's a few things certain in life. Death, taxes, and the Colts losing in Jacksonville to the Jaguars. Remember when the Colts lost to the 0-15 Jaguars?
Yep.
To miss a playoff spot in Jacksonville?
Sure do.
This is what happens in these games. And, okay, that's a pretty Barney handicap, Mr. Mansman. Well, like you talked about, the Colts are trending in the wrong direction. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Daniel Jones has not been an MVP candidate since the midway part of the year. The Colts are starting to struggle. Look at what Jacksonville's done. They're just quietly winning. They're just winning games. And, remember, Jacksonville, the issue sometimes with them was, on the road, not necessarily at home. Jacksonville wins in Jacksonville. I think they're the better team. I think they're the team that's trending in the right direction, at least as it stands now. This is a wrong team favored game. Jacksonville should not be an underdog in this game. And when that happens, dog of the week. There you go. Easy as can be.
Oh, God. Hold on. I know I have it here.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
It's a Chewbacca line, officially, from Money Mansman. By the way, listen to this. I didn't realize it, but the Jags' last 5 games, 4 of their last 5 were on the road. They had 1 home game in the month of November. And you know what they did? They beat the piss out of the Los Angeles Chargers, who were 2.5-point underdogs, 35-6.
Oh, I remember that game.
Sorry you lost money on that. But I mean, we are on a double dog back-to-back weeks. Last week we had Houston. That cashed money. So let's see if we can double down on this. I gotta say, love where your head is at on that one.
You too, 100%.
All right, moving on. It's the New York Jets, Jets, sucks of New Jersey. With the Gotham City jersey reveal, that's what the new logo here. They're hosting the Miami Dolphins, who are 5-7. Dolphins are 2.5-point division road favorites now, -150. Plus 125 for the Jets, plus 2.5. Over-under is 41 total right now in MetLife Stadium. Okay, so Jets are coming off of a last-second field goal win. The Dolphins are kind of coming off of a Fugazi isn't the word, but they blew the cover. Let's not put that. Let's start there. They blew a 5-point cover. They blew a 16-0 lead to the Saints. But Minkah Fitzpatrick did get the win and the interception or fumble recovery or whatever it was to win by 4 and make it a weird 21-17 final. So, Mr. Mansman, I've heard a lot of talk on this game. Seems like all the sharps talk about is Tyrod Taylor as a dog. But have you heard anything on the other side? Is there any opinion you have?
Yeah, they're missing a really bad The Jets against the AFC East and the Jets against Miami in general. If you remember, I actually liked the Jets as an underdog against Miami earlier in the year because of how bad Miami was playing. And what was the thing we talked about? Well, the Jets are terrible in division. They're terrible against Miami. Tua and the Dolphins own the Jets.
Tua at home early in the year.
Oh, well, that hasn't changed. Now, the Jets seemingly are playing kind of tough. Those Tyrod Taylor will win games against, teams like Miami. But we've seen this story before. Remember the Black Friday game? The Tim Boyle Black Friday game against the Dolphins?
Blackout. Oh, you mean Blackout Boyle?
Yeah. Like, how many times have we seen this game? Again, same thing with the flowchart game, Jacksonville. How many times have we seen, I think this is the time the Jets can get a breakthrough. And then Tua and the Dolphins beat them up. I don't think, as far as I'm aware, that the weather in New York is going to be, 10 degrees and snow flurries.
I have a handicap for that. I'll give it out after.
So maybe depending on the weather, but other than that, I think it's Miami or nothing for me. I've seen this game too many times. Miami wins this game, and by less than a field goal. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, when you look at the trends going back to 2016, whoever wins this game, they end up usually covering, which I know is not a great handicap, but think of it this way. It is not very often that the favorite in this spot doesn't cover when they win. It's also even more rare that an underdog will cover and lose outright. Last year was the first time that happened in 10 years. The Jets as an underdog covered against Miami as 6.5-point dogs. They lost 26-32. So with that said, this game is at 3. I'm looking at what it was in Miami. It was 3. So, what's fucking changed? The location? So, you're telling me the Jets at Miami is the same as the Jets at home? That doesn't seem right. I find that very weird. Maybe the month of December has something to do with it? No, not really. Not the month itself. The weather, though. The weather I was going to talk about. So a lot of sharps also were like, oh, it's Tua. It's going to be 40 degrees or less. Just fade Tua. It's a losing spot. It's fair. But I look at the weather. It's going to be 41 degrees, but the humidity is going to make it a 50. It's going to feel like a 50-degree game. And
that's it was Miami.
Yeah, there's no rain. There's overcast, I guess, but nothing terrible. This isn't really going to be a bad elements game where you did it earlier with Cleveland. Bad elements, horrible weather. Go ahead and fade Tua. This doesn't seem like that's going to happen here at East Rutherford. It seems like it's going to be kind of a humid game, feels like 50. Clouds, light breeze. Besides the weather, again, all I've heard, why do you fade Tua in this spot? The Jets, regardless of quarterback, they've been terrible. Here's the numbers: 2-13 straight up, 4-1 ATS as underdogs against this Miami Dolphins team since 2016. Miami as a road favorite since 2023, 5-1 ATS. And again, I'm going to mention the previous games. Miami, they almost blew a win against the Saints. They did let them catch up. They did get the onside kick. Miami still won. Minka Fitzpatrick saved the day. And I know you're thinking, well, whoopee. Miami beat the Saints. Wow, so impressive. But go watch the Jets game. It was a lot more entertaining. The Jets barely kept pace with a Kirk Cousins-led Falcons. It took Nick Folk to nail a 56-yarder to win that game. Which, again, it was more exciting of a game, but whoopee. You beat Kirk Cousins and the Falcons at home. Wow. So impressive. If I'm not impressed either way, I'm getting a divisional flow chart matchup, and the odds are basically telling me this is no different than September, and Miami won by 6 the last time. Yeah, sure, dipshit. I'll take Miami -3 again. Seems pretty fucking easy to me. Like, I don't know what the, like, I don't get where, like, once again, this just seems like the Sharks. Oh, well, it's Tyrod as a dog. What about what about the Jets in this spot? Like, how many times have you fucking lost money in this spot? And yet again, they're doing it again. And I don't know why. Like,
I'll just say I think the Jets are getting very overplayed. Oh, they're feisty. They play hard. They're not that bad. No, the Falcons are just really that bad. Like the Falcons are that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me Miami -3. What do you make of this over under? We haven't really gone too much about them. I think we skipped it in the last one. 41. I think I have this as my one on. I have this as an under game at 41.5.
Oh, feels
now
low.
41.
Feels a little low.
It does, but then again, like Miami only got 21 last week. And Atlanta's defense is horrendous, but is Miami that bad? I mean, if Miami can't hold the Jets to 20 or less with Tyrod Taylor, I have questions.
I would play your Devon Achane anytime and overs in this game. I think Devon Achane is going to. I mean, look at what Bijan Robinson did last week.
Yes.
Devon Achane over everything.
Let's see what he is on DK real fast. If
that would be my play.
I'm gonna jot that down because I have a couple player props here, and I haven't really done too many in the 1:00 games, but I actually I love where your head's going, and I'm gonna try and see if I can get it. Come on.
Yeah, Bijan got like a buck 80 for fun last week.
That was a good spot too. Yeah, Devon Achane, his over under right now looks like it's 120 for rushing and receiving.
Well, I think that's still over.
Seems too easy to me. All right, let me jot that down, and then 120 scrimmage. All right. We'll move on to the next game. I got this as an under though, like 41, but I think like Achane, I think two things could be true. He could go yard, and Miami could settle for threes in this game, and they'll still win by like 10.
Yeah, and the Jets will hit their threes with Nick Folk, their MVP.
Played with the head coach too. All right, moving on. Tampa Bay Bucks 7-5, currently leading the division. They're hosting the New Orleans Saints, who are 8.5-point division road underdogs, plus 350 on the money line for the Saints, minus 450 for the Bucks. 41.5 is the total. Another weird total game. This was contender number 2 for me for my fade of the week. I'm going to go ahead and take the Saints plus the 8.5 here.
Oh, I like it. Bold.
I am concerned. This to me just seems, I don't want to say too easy, but I'm concerned. There have been 7 straight covers by this Saints franchise in Raymond James Stadium. The Saints have covered 4 of their last 5 as a divisional road team. And the Bucks in this spot, they've just been terrible. They're 1-5 ATS at home with Baker Mayfield. Now, I think the Bucks are another team that are sputtering in the wrong direction. But I just think for them, it's been due to injuries. It hasn't been because they've been playing bad. It's not that they're losing to the great teams. I mean, if you look at that Rams game, that was a Sunday night blowout, but Baker got injured. And I think a lot of people forget that Teddy Bridgewater came in and had to finish it out. And they've had some real tough opponents as well in that span. Like they lost to Buffalo in a great shootout game that Buffalo just ended up taking advantage of. They lost to New England in another game where it was kind of a shootout and New England just took the lead. They ended up holding on. And in that stretch, the one win in their they're 1-5 ATS in their last 6. They're 2-4 straight up. The one win ATS that the Bucks got was against the Saints earlier this year. It was 23-3. That was Tyler Shuck's debut game. Since then, they're writing articles on ESPN how Tyler Shuck, Mark Schlereth, 3-time Super Bowl winning champion, is writing how Tyler Shuck might be the best quarterback to come out the 2025 class. And I'm thinking, like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? What is he doing? You look at Cam Ward, but look at it. You look at Cam Ward's numbers. They're not that impressive. Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, they're on the Browns. You know, they're not going to hit it. Who else has really been there, in all honesty?
Nobody.
JJ McCarthy, but he's 2024.
Well,
but he's been horrendous. Like, I'm thinking about it, like, there really isn't another quarterback that has really done well. Tyler Shuck's, but I'm like, okay, well, what's his numbers? Like, that seems a little silly. Shuck has had 3 straight games passing over 225. Those 3 games, he had a 68 to 70% completion percentage. And he's starting to find his running legs too. He had like 18 and I think 27 rushing yards in back-to-back games. I think this kid is starting to find himself, and he's not like, he may not be as bad as we make him out to be. And I think that now he's already played the Tampa Bay Bucks and he's got a little bit of experience under his belt. He could come out a little more prepared. And just betting the Bucks over 8.5 seems very trappy to me. With a quarterback that with those kind of numbers, who I'm not saying he's like MVP. I don't think he's rookie of the year. I'm just saying, like, you could build around this guy and do like a Bo Nix situation where even if you lose, like, you got to see what you have. And if he can put up the numbers, start rebuilding, because a serviceable quarterback nowadays is better than not having one. Again, the backup quarterback is even more necessary than ever. And if Shuck ends up being a backup quarterback with those numbers, he could be good. So
it is funny. Who is the rookie of the year this year?
I'll look up those odds if you want to give us your handicap, but
yeah. So I don't have much for this one because it's tough. I tend to agree with you. I don't think the Saints are good. I think Tampa needs the win. I think offensively, Tampa could have their way with them. Godwin could have a big game. Irving could have a big game. Mayfield could have a big game. But I don't know, 8.5 feels like the right number to me. And like you said, Saints have been a tough out on the road. They do seem to have an ability to like keep it close and, you know, potentially. I mean, look at what they did last week, kind of hanging around, getting the cover in Miami. It's a tough one. I've kind of my heart says that Tampa could win this game big, but I think more likely than not the Saints will cover. I think you're on the right side here. It's bold, but I like it. I think at 8.5, I think I'd probably have to lean to the Saints slightly. It's a no play for me. But yeah, I think the Saints could cover this game.
yeah, I got the Saints to cover. I have under 41.5 here. Or no, I'm sorry, I have over 41.5.
Yeah, I think it's
because
an over.
I think Shuck could have a real good game here against this defense. Tampa's defense, like, they're good on the run, but they're not necessarily great at pass defense. They're not good in the secondary as we expected.
Yeah.
And I could just see Chris Olave having a game. I could see Shuck. His line, I think, is less than 225. And that was a line I had written down. I got to see if I can pull that up real quick. Shuck's passing yards line was ridiculously low for what he's been doing lately. And I thought that, like, it was asinine. Let's see. Tyler Shuck's passing yards is set at 220. He's passed that 3 weeks in a row.
Okay,
So-
interesting. I agree with you, though. I think it's an over game. I think there's going to be some scoring.
Fair enough. All right, moving on. We're back home to Baltimore. For God, I guess this is for the AFC North, but Jesus Christ, does this feel like it's the most depressing game on the year? It's the Baltimore Ravens, 6-6, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, 6-6. God, this is a horrible game. Ravens are somehow laying 6. They're minus 290. Steelers plus 235. 42.5 is the total. So another low scoring total game. M&T Bank Stadium, Sunday afternoon. Big rivalry here in Baltimore. If you're not on the East Coast, Steelers Ravens rivalry used to be one of the biggest ones. Now it's not as
But
crazy.
both teams are 500. Yeah.
Yeah, now you have 2 500 teams. I don't know how you back either side. I really don't. I have reasons to fade both sides. Mansman, where are you leaning on this, I guess? Or
So this was my number 1A dog of the week, but Jacksonville beat it out because of Jacksonville is wrong team favored. I think the Ravens, just by being at home, should be favored. But how many times have we seen this game, Steve? How many times does this game end within like 2 or 3 points? If
I don't know about
if
2 or
you're
3, but like 5 or 4.
if you're going to honestly, if you're going to lay 6 points with Baltimore in this game, give up your betting account. Like, please stop betting 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right,
How many times have we?
to be fair, the last 2
Yeah.
games they played, Ravens have covered by 14 or more.
Yeah,
The last
but
2. The last 2.
think of it this way. This game, it's going to be 2 teams coming off a loss, 2 teams sputtering. They're the same record. This has 16-14 written all over it. 19-21 or something stupid. Because that's what these teams are, stupid.
How about 14-8? How about 14-18? 6 field goals for the Steelers, 2 touchdowns for the Ravens.
I mean, I guess your only question is this. This is a Steelers play, obviously. But I guess here's the one question. Do the Ravens just look at the duo play that the Bills ran over and over and over, and do they just run that play over and over and over?
Wouldn't shock me.
I mean, are the Steelers just not going to be able to adapt week to week? I don't know. I just think the Steelers have too much pride. Steelers, I don't know. They might be the better team. It's hard to tell. I don't think either team's good, but 6 points.
Look at this chart. It's week 14.
Yeah.
It's 6 fucking points.
That's way too high. That's ridiculous.
All right, fine. You're going to talk me out of this. I'm going to give out my handicap, and I think you've talked me out. Ravens have not covered 3 straight as favorites. Prior to last Thanksgiving, though, that debacle against the Bengals, the Ravens won and covered 6 straight as division home favorites. All effing year, I've heard sharp after sharp after sharp. Well, you should bet the Steelers this week. They're catching points. Bet the Steelers. They're a road underdog. Bet the Steelers. They're a division road underdog. Bet the Steelers. They're coming off a loss as an underdog. Yeah, and if you listen to them, you've lost more money than you can count because they're 2-4. Or sorry, not 2-4. They're 2-6 as an underdog this year. Go back through their last 12 as underdogs. They're 2-10 straight up, 3-9 ATS. Meanwhile, if you look at the Ravens, following a division loss, the next 16 as favorites, they've won outright. Aaron Rodgers cannot hand the ball off correctly. That's how bad the Steelers team is. Literally, Steelers fans are calling for Tomlin's head because he just doesn't. It's been 20 years of the same shit. No innovation whatsoever. Ravens don't even have to be innovative here. Because you're right. They can just do what the Bills did. They do that against the Bills, and they fucking come close to winning. Like, that's the Ravens' MO. What did the other team do? Great, we're doing that because Greg Roman's gone, and people figured out Greg Roman, so now he has to go to LA to coach for the other Harbaugh. And see, to me, this is a Ravens or nothing spot because the Steelers could be that bad. Like, I get it. They're both 6-6. Here's the difference, though. They didn't have Lamar for half of those games. Not that they were really winning anyways, but they were playing at least stiff competition. The Steelers just every time bet the Steelers as a dog, bet the Steelers in this, they lose. They don't just lose, they don't cover. You lose your shirt. I wouldn't mind if Sharps came out and were like, look, they've lost their last 3 or 4 as a dog. This is a spot you martingale it because we think we can cover the 6. Like, if there was just a little bit of honesty, I'd respect it. But sometimes recency bias comes into play. And the Ravens just have owned the Steelers in the last 2. Now, you're 100% right. You look at through some of these last scores. I mean, I'm just going to keep reading and you tell me when to stop. So, first game I'm going to read off was 11-17, 2024. Ravens lost 16-18. You keep going. 1-6, 2024. Ravens lost 10-17. 10-8, 2023. Ravens lost 10-17. Ravens versus the Steelers 1-1-23. They lost 13-16. How about Ravens at Pittsburgh 12-11, 2022. They won 16-14. 1-9, 2022. 13-16. Ravens lost. Like to be honest with you, like I'm talking like, yeah, the Steelers have won constantly. Those last 2 wins, though, they were blowouts. They were with Lamar. Half those games I mentioned, Lamar wasn't playing. Derrick Henry was not in that offense. The last 2 games, Derrick Henry was. Not a best bet by any means, but like, I'm just tired of betting the Steelers for the sake of betting the Steelers as a dog. I can't do it.
Here's one thing I'll say to sort of conclude this. My only fear with the Steelers, if they get down big early, like 10-0, 13-0, they might just implode. That's my one fear for this game.
I've seen it before. I don't know, like, again, every spot. Like, I'm just thinking, Steelers against Green Bay Sunday night. That was a big one. They lost 25-10. What about, like, the other week? It was fucking Steelers versus, who the fuck were they? At Chicago is 2.5-point non-conference road dogs. Lost and failed to cover. What about a spot where they were at home? I mean, actually, they beat the Bengals, but that was Joe Flacco. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm looking back. I'm just trying to. Yeah, Pittsburgh on the road against the Chargers, 2.5-point dogs. Lost and failed to cover. Like, I've seen it before. I'm tired of following it. It's been 14 weeks. I'm off the train.
All right, bud. I'll tell you though. I don't know these teams.
Look. If it falls back to it, I'll 100% admit you're right. But I'm not incinerator worthy. But
no, you didn't go. If you did something crazy, but you didn't do anything crazy. Okay.
All right. Moving on, we got an NFC battle. It's the Atlanta Falcons coming back home off that loss to the Jets, 4-8. They're hosting the 9-3 Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are laying 7 at plus 100 odds on Bet365, minus 340. Falcons are plus 270 home underdogs. 44.5 is the total. I don't have too much of a handicap on this one. Number 1, great teaser leg. Either way. Weirdly enough, I think either way, great teaser leg. You want to catch the Falcons plus 13. Seahawks didn't cover that against the Titans. So if you like anything about the Falcons, it's not the worst bet I've ever heard.
Still bitter about that one, huh, buddy?
Just a little bit. Seahawks -1 on the road. Phenomenal bet. Love that. Number 2, Seahawks on the road with Coach Mike McDonald. 9-4-1 ATS. They're 12-2 straight up. This season, 5-1 straight up in ATS. In the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2025, Seahawks are 6-1 straight up in ATS on the road. In the same time span, the Atlanta Falcons, 5-9 ATS, 6-8 straight up. I think that's as home underdogs. In the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2025, the Falcons are 2-4 straight up and ATS at home. All time franchise history, Seattle Seahawks are 8-4 against the Atlanta Falcons. They have won 4 of their last 5 in Atlanta and by marginal victories. So I'm getting a touchdown or less on a team that really does well on the road. Kirk Cousins lost to the Jets. I'm not betting Kirk Cousins. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah. Seahawks are nothing. Falcons are about as close to an auto fade as you could be. They have Kirk Cousins. He's playing out. Excuse me. He's playing out the string. Seahawks are a good team. They're better on the road, crazy enough. They've been a good road team, as you so eloquently put it. I just think, you you have to acknowledge that the Seahawks are a good team. You saw what they did last week against shit competition. That's what you're supposed to do. It's Seahawks or not. And I know 7 is maybe going to scare some people. But this is a Falcons team that just lost to the Jets. And with Penix, at least Penix was trying. Kirk Cousins is out there to not get fined. Like that's what he's there to do. His career is over. The Falcons are no good. I'm sure Robinson will get his little yardage, his little stats, but this is Seahawks or nothing. Easy as that.
Yeah, and not to mention too, like last week was a 26-0 burger, and that was Sam Darnold at his literal worst. I think the man had a QBR of like 5. Like it was bad. Oh my god, the line has dropped. It's actually 6.5 now on another sports book.
Okay, yeah, bet 6.5 or below. Seahawks.
Yeah, it's minus 120 at this book. So if it were me, you want to go to the other book and get the 7. I don't fault you. It's a 20-cent or $20, depending on your unit size. $20 charge for half a point. Seems a bit silly, but yeah, I think I'm gonna play it at the 6.5. Just might as well. And with that said, over under here. God, I need an over of the week. Hang on. I want to look at one thing before.
Oh, okay. Well, you figure that out. I'm gonna step
look
away.
at one thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. This is my over of the week. Over 41.5. Over 44.5. Yeah, I just think this could be this could be a Sam Darnold bounce back game. This Atlanta Falcons defense is shit. I'm looking at the Seahawks on the road. 31, 23, 20, 38. The Rams was 19-21. They almost had 22 though. 30. I mean, that's half their games. They got 30. They got over 30. And they never really shut out any of those opponents on the road. They actually usually allow like 17 or more. Now Atlanta's defense, like fucking Tyrod Taylor got how many fucking points for the Jets?
Too many.
Yeah, what is Sam Darnold gonna do here against this fucking Falcons defense? I just like they can't stop a fucking nosebleed at this point. So yeah, over of the week. And honestly, I may even do a little parlay here. I may parlay the fucking spread and the over just to see. But oof. Yeah, this could be fun.
Okay. That's all I got for that one.
Fair enough. All right. Let's move on. Okay, let's be quick. Cleveland, Tennessee, the two shit teams of the AFC. The shit-stained Browns are 3.5-point home favorites, minus 200. Why are they minus 200? I'll tell you why. I don't know. Doesn't make sense. The Titans are 3.5-point road underdogs, plus 165. Why is it only 3.5? I
Ladies
don't
and
know.
gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
I hate this game. I want nothing to do with it.
So
I got
I have to say, this is honestly was very close to my best bet of the week.
what?
This was really
Why?
cool.
This game of all the games, why this one?
I'll tell you why. Okay. Tennessee going to score in this game.
I don't know.
So if you can't score, and your defense is probably the worst as well, it's not going to take much for Cleveland to cover this game at home in the weather in Cleveland in December. I don't know. I have a real desire to make this my best bet of the week on the Cleveland Browns. Because the Tennessee Titans, how are they going to score, bro? How are they going to do anything in this game? How are they going to score? You really need to hope that Cleveland just, like, if you're on the Tennessee side, you really need to hope that Cleveland just, like, doesn't care. But this is the type of game that Cleveland will want to win. Like, Shedeur Sanders will want to win this game because it's one of the few he can. And it's only 3.5. I mean, just think about it. I get it. You look at, well, the teams are comparable. They're both bad. But think about it. Cleveland at home. How is Tennessee going to score? If this Cleveland defense that has shut down some of the best teams in the league, Tennessee will not do anything. Cam Ward will throw like 5 interceptions. So, you know what? I'm going to do it just for fun.
Hold on. Look at the bottle.
Yep.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Fuck it. Let's do it.
Oh, boy.
Give me Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. Best bet.
Wow.
I have to do it now to be fun. I have to do it.
What a shit game to pick as your best bet.
Well, it's not about the game being fun or good. It's about what's the best bet. Cleveland Browns, if they show up, if they play like they want to be there, the Tennessee Titans have no chance in this game. They are one of the worst teams in football on offense and defense. The Browns' defense will prevent them from scoring anything. Cam Ward will probably get sacked 15 times. So when that happens, unless the game ends 3-0, Cleveland should cover this fairly easily. So this is how you make your bones, betting games like this.
I hate that you're right. I really hate that you're right. If I dig too deep, I'm going to end up on the Tennessee side. You're dead on. I don't want to be on the Tennessee.
Don't get me wrong. Tennessee wins anytime. Here we come. But
no, I'm not going to make you do it. Listen, here's the numbers. Like, I'm avoiding my thoughts on each team. This is the numbers. Cleveland is a home favorite in the last 2 seasons. 8-2 ATS.
Wow.
Shedeur Sanders sucks. This Browns offense sucks. You know what else sucks? The Tennessee Titans. They suck. On the road, they suck. In general, they suck. They've covered in the same time span. So since 2023, the Titans have covered 6 road games. They have only won 4 road games in 2.5 seasons of football. That means you are going to lose more money more often betting on this Titans spot than you are going to win. And you are going to win more money betting on Cleveland in this spot than you were if you were to not bet on them. Oh, and the weather, by the way, it's going to be cold, 30 degrees. It's going to be raining. It is going to be
is it really?
miserable weather
Oh,
in
boy.
Cleveland. I have no faith that Cam Ward is going to do a fucking thing in this game. I actually have no faith that Shedeur Sanders will do anything. But I trust in the Browns defense over the Titans. I trust in Quinshon Judkins more than I trust in Tony Pollard. And looking at the odds on Quinshon Judkins over under his rushing as of right now, it is currently, come on, I have his line. There it is, 81.5.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, I may hit his rushing attempts. His rushing attempts right now, we're looking at 21.5 rushing attempts. I would hit the over. It's going to be an ugly game. I think after what we saw Shedeur did in San Francisco, they're not going to let him throw as often.
Oh, that was so predictable. But big drop in competition. And look, Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward. Although not really, because I think Cleveland's defense is just gonna.
You know what? I'm going to do this now. Just a little halfer. I have a bad feeling. I have a real bad feeling I'm backing Shedeur Sanders in this spot.
Telling you, buddy. These are the types of games, man. This is how you make money late in the year.
You are
fucking betting shit teams.
I will say though, you're 100% right. Like if you want, listen, we've been doing this for a few years, folks. You want to be a sharp. Those are the kind of games you have to bet on, and you have to bet big on, especially when you have a good feeling. You got it. Like it is the ugliest game on the card by far, besides this one coming up. But Mansman's right. No game is untouchable when you're a sharp.
So we got the Dolphins, Saints, and fucking Browns on. Oh my god,
God. This is bad. Oh god. I gotta. Oh, and the Jags. Don't forget the Jags.
Jags are good this year, though. Fucking the other teams aren't.
Oh man. Oh man. All right, moving on. It's the Minnesota Vikings hosting the Washington Commies, aka the Commanders, aka the football team, aka the Redskins.
Washington Redskins, go yourself.
And they lost in overtime last week to the Denver Broncos. And the Vikings are coming off of a really, really, really bad loss to, I want to say it was
the Seattle Seahawks in the mortgage bet of the year.
So, believe it or not, the Minnesota Vikings for the longest time were not a Ronald Mansman special because they were laying points. The line is now flipped due to Jaden Daniels being activated, expected to start. So now the Vikings are underdogs. With that said, I don't think it changes my handicap, but the Vikings are now 1.5 point underdogs at home, plus 100. But Washington Commies are minus 120. 44 is the total.
Is JJ McCarthy back?
Yes, he is expected to play.
Honestly, the fact that you're saying thank God for that is really tells you something.
Well, at least it'll be interesting now. if it was a dipshit McGee from D2, I would want nothing to do with him. They're actually not a Ronald Mansman special though, which, by the way, the Ronald Mansman special, it is the same. It's similar to the SGPN special, I think. We haven't really nailed a rule per se, but so the SGPN close your eye special, you have to fail to cover the spread by 20 and then catch points the week after. We've kind of used this rule as like losing by 20 as a dog and then becoming a dog the next week. We've also done failing to cover the spread. We haven't really nailed it down. It's more of a feel kind of thing. The Vikings feel like a Ronald Mansman special. They just got
teams that get embarrassed the week before, pretty much. It was definitely a feel thing for him. You go, you lose big, you get embarrassed, you come back the next week, you play harder.
Yeah, and now with that said, not technically a special by SGPN standards, maybe for us though. And that was Sam Darnold's worst game. They were laying points against the commies. Why? Why was this Vikings team laying points against anybody? I don't get it. Now Jane Daniels is back. Now JJ McCarthy's back. What did he fucking do? And now the line's flipped. Why are the commies catching points in this spot? The only thing I could think of, and I had to go back all day and run the numbers. They're coming off of an overtime loss. And teams just this year are 2-6 the week after.
Yeah.
Since 2010, the Minnesota Vikings are 7-2 against the Washington franchise. 4-1 at home. The commies barely covered last week because the refs had to get involved. I'm still very livid about that. I had good money on that Broncos spread. I had a great feeling. I felt like I was on the right side. And they covered for the first time in 7 weeks. Where's the positive in this game? Jane Daniels in dome stadiums, he's 4-1. He'll have Terry McLaurin. The Vikings suck as home underdogs. They're 0-2 so far. Look, here's what I did. I bet the commies plus 1.5 earlier in the week before the line flipped. I could buy into another position or I could hedge, but I'm staying put. I have no idea what to make of this game. I actually have the commies in a 6-point teaser when they were 2-point dogs, so I got them at 8. Pretty happy with my position. I'm leaving it at that. Now I'm looking at these numbers. I'm looking at this game, and I'm just like, am I on the wrong fucking side yet again? Like, did I just invest too much on a team that really hasn't done shit even with Jaden? Yet again, Minnesota hasn't done dick either. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is one of those games. By the way, no play game for me because my only fear is that Jaden's going to get hurt again. He's been in and out all year. Is he going to get hurt again? And then his Flores, his defense can have an advantage against Mariota. I don't know. Is McCarthy going to sort of play with his hair on fire because of I don't know. We saw Bryce Young, if you remember, Bryce Young kind of had an issue and then he went down and then he came back and was it wouldn't actually surprise me if the Vikings won this game, to tell you the truth. But for me, it's like it's Commanders or nothing. I can't. I mean, you saw what this Vikings team was last week. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not playing them as a 1.5 point dog, basically a pick 'em against the Washington team with their starting quarterback back. It's Commanders or nothing. But I have to say, it would not surprise me if the Vikings won this game, and it's a no play for me. I don't have a great feel for it. I have a weird feeling about the Vikings, but Commanders until otherwise stated.
Fair enough. All right. And in terms of the over-under, I have no feel for it either. It's 44 at one book. I guess over. Their defenses are shit. Both quarterbacks.
God, that feels like the right line. 24-20, like, God, that feels right about where this game's going to be.
I guess over. I don't know. I should bet under, but it just seems like in the fourth quarter, these teams decide they want to. Maybe first half under is the play in that one.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I could peep that. Where's the. There we go. Half. 21.5 first half. I love the under in that one.
I actually endorse that a lot. I like that a lot.
Yeah, let me jot that down. And then
McCarthy may be playing a low conservative, coming back. 2 quarterbacks back off of injury.
Yep. They'll take it slow, run the ball. I also heard Ja'Cory Krosky, was it Little Bill? I heard him rushing yards would be a good play this week. Don't know what that's necessarily about, but maybe they'll get more opportunities.
I really like that first half under. I think that's a really good bet.
I'm going to jot that down. Oh, boy.
The Denver Broncos.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's time. All right. The Las Vegas Raiders are at home as division home underdogs. They're now catching 7.5 at home against the Denver Broncos. Minus 425 for them, plus 325. Broncos are coming off of overtime against the Commies. 40.5 is the total. And I saw an ESPN article earlier. Don't be surprised if there's a Broncos letdown. That was enough fire for me. Yeah, I can't make this my best bet. I can't do it. Here's why. Number one, don't ever back Bo Nix as a favorite. 2-6 so far, ATS. He's actually 0-3 ATS as a road favorite now. I'm not saying it was his fault last week, but other weeks he's had problems. Now the over of the week. Sorry. The over has hit in 4 of his 5 road games as a favorite. I don't know if I could back the Raiders scoring anything, though, with this offense. Even when we saw them, 4 weeks ago? They scored 7. That was Bo Nix's worst game ever. In the Mile High Elements, and they lost 10-7. Now it's a dome on a Sunday afternoon. Like, why don't you back the Denver Broncos in this spot? Under 10. Here's why. Broncos, they basically get most of their wins in the fourth quarter. They had an overtime win, not a fourth quarter win. So again, I ran back some numbers. Winning teams the week after winning in overtime, 1-6 straight up this year. Jacksonville last week against the Titans were the first team to get a win the week after overtime. Over 80 to 90% of the handle in the tickets are on Denver in this spot. You really want to be a sharp? You want to pick an ugly side? This is a spot you fade and you avoid like the plague. You do not take Denver. Albeit, I don't think that's the right side. I have a great feeling Denver just beats the shit out of this bad Raiders team with the interim head coach. Their dead coach bounced last week. Dead. They're just dead. There's no coach bounce. There's no OC coordinator. They're dead. I love the spot for Denver, but God, I hate that they went to overtime last week. Scares the shit out of me. Final play. Give me Denver. Give me them laying the 7.5. I know it's wrong, but let's see.
So you mentioned sharps, you mentioned fade, and this is my fade of the. No, are you kidding me? Of course, it's not my fade of the week. In order to fade a team, you need to bet on something. Here's my question for the sharps: if you're betting on the Raiders, what are you betting on? Anything? Anything at all? Offense sucks. Defense sucks. Special teams sucks. Coaching sucks. You haven't covered anything. Okay, they covered against the Broncos Thursday night. That was cool, I guess. I mean, you're kind of hoping for that again. I mean, here's my thing. Guess what, folks? It's a novel idea, right? So let's say you're looking at this game and you're concerned that, maybe Denver won't cover the 7.5. You know, you do have the ability to do one of two things. You can either tease the game or just not bet it. I know it's a novel idea, but you can do that. That's what you should do for this game. Because
But money management, why would I tease the Broncos down to 1.5 wouldn't the Raiders be the right side?
here's why that's not the right side. Because the Raiders suck. The Raiders might very well get down early and give up. And Denver might very well be pissed about the fact that they win all these close games and the Raiders might just completely fall apart. Remember, the Raiders played them tough in Denver. I'm sure Denver hasn't forgotten about that. I don't know. I'd be very scared to do anything with the Raiders right now. My firm belief is that if you're, and look, we've bet some shit games on this card. The Saints, the Browns, well, me, the Steelers, the whatever. In all of those situations, my firm belief is that you need to be able to bet something. The Browns defense, the Saints have been feisty. Taylor Shuck has been, serviceable.
I bet the Saints. Taylor Shuck is not as bad as we make him out to be. The Bucks, they're playing too close for comfort.
Yeah. It's like even the Steelers. Well, these teams play close. It's going to be one of those NFC North type games. What are you betting on for the Raiders? The answer is nothing. The handicap is just Denver plays a lot of close games. Denver's not that good. Denver's this. Denver's that.
Denver's not good. They're 10-2.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
With that.
Okay, what are you betting on if you're betting on the Raiders? And the answer is nothing because the Raiders are nothing.
You're betting that Denver keeps it close. That is it. Literally, when you think about it, at the end of the day, you're betting that Denver plays close. You're betting on another bad Bo Nix game. You're betting on Geno Smith actually showing up. You're betting on their defense keeping it close like they did Thursday night. I don't know. And like I said, I think a lot of that was elements. I think a lot of that was a Thursday night football wind game.
Yeah.
In Mile High. This is a dome in Vegas.
I just want you to think about picture an angry, bitter old man in the corner of the end zone just cursing at the Raiders. That's what I want you to think about. And when you think about that, you will not bet the Raiders. You're exactly right. It's Denver Broncos or nothing. And I think the Broncos are too good to lose a game like this. They have some tougher games coming. They have the Chargers. Do they have the Chargers twice?
No, they have them one more time.
And they have Kansas City one more time.
Correct.
So they have some tougher games coming. This is one they need to win, or they may very well be playing in the wild card round with the Billies.
Yeah, 4 games left. Listen to this schedule. Week 15, at home against Green Bay.
Oh, boy.
Week 16, at home against Jacksonville.
Oh, boy.
Week 17, Thursday night football, a.k.a. Christmas fucking night in Kansas City.
Wow. Oh, boy.
And then
Kansas City might be out, too. Kansas City could be out by then.
And then week 18, January 4th, at home against the Chargers. We have 3 of our last 4 at home.
I'll make a bold prediction. Broncos, Chargers, last game, that's your AFC West championship game.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that.
I have a
We're up 2
prediction.
games. We're up 2 games. Don't do this to me.
Gotta win this game, that's for sure.
I will say, this is... we're going to get to this team later, but I think if you like the Chargers, I think there's some future plays you really have to consider first. But let's not get there now. Let's go. Oh, and over-under for Broncos Raiders. I have under 40.5. Same reasons. What are the Raiders going to do?
Yeah, what are the Raiders going to do?
Oh, there's literally highlights of Pat Surtain getting burned by Terry McLaurin all game. You know he's going to be pissed. He's not going to be fucking happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the. I had Raiders. I'm changing my pick. Give me the Broncos. All right, NFC North battle for the division. The number 1 team, the Chicago Bears, 9-3, coming off the Friday night win against the Eagles, are 6.5-point division road underdogs, plus 255, they're going to Lambeau Field, taking on the Packers, who are laying 6.5. Over-under is 43.5, minus 315 for the Packers, 6.5 for the Bears. This is another one where I'm like, if you have questions, just tease the Packers. Just tease it down if you're that scared. Just tease it down. I have concerns. I have to take the Bears as a serious team. Mansman, I'm going to give it to you. It's your go, but like I kind of gave it away a little bit in my position, but
Well, Roma Dunze is out.
So, similar. Oh boy, that's not good.
So you remember Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah,
Owns the Bears, owns their whole fucking franchise. Pretty sure that's continued with Jordan Love as well.
I'm pretty sure. Well, he did lose the last one, but
yeah, that's true. That's true. So Packers, the bane of my existence. They beat the Lions Thanksgiving, my one Thanksgiving loss. That one hurt. Packers have kind of bedeviled me all year. I'm keeping up. I got to say, I've been doing better by being aggressive. Well, this is going to be my fade of the week. I'm making this game my fade of the week. And it's one of those games where my fade of the week could be either team. Bears, number 1 seed, fucking NFC, somehow. Could fade them. Could fade the Packers. I'm fading the Green Bay Packers.
whoa.
Give me the Chicago Bears plus the 6.5. This is not the same old Bears. Aaron Rodgers is gone. This Bears team is a tough, feisty team. They got a great head coach. I think they're going to keep this game close. The Green Bay Packers have not been a juggernaut by any means. I actually think, like you, that the Bears will lose this game. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Bears are covering this spread. Give me the Chicago Bears plus the 6.5 fade of the week. I think this is a close game. I think Green Bay is going to win, but I think the Bears are covering.
I don't hate the handicap. I like that me and you were on the side of Green Bay winning. Trying to find the number. The Packers is a big favorite. Has not really. They haven't really come through this year.
Yeah, I know. Trust me.
It did come through against Minnesota earlier. It didn't come through against the Giants. It didn't come through against the Panthers. It didn't come through against the Cardinals. It didn't come through against a 14-point favorite against the Bengals. They tied as 7-point favorites against Dallas. They didn't cover. They actually lost as 7.5-point road favorites against the Browns. You know, sometimes your ATS record is what you say it is. I don't want to do this. Like, the Barney in me is like, well, Green Bay owns Chicago. What concerns me is Chicago got away last week against Philly because of the run game. I saw some like film edits on YouTube. I'll have to find the links for you. Philly's run defense got obliterated by Ben Johnson. Same scheme, same type of plays. Green Bay's linebacker core shuts that shit down.
Yeah.
Now there's no Rome Odunze to throw to. I have concerns. This could be a Caleb Williams gets fucking blasted back down to reality. Jordan Love is coming off a big game against the Lions. He's now got extra rest, even more rest than Caleb. And now they're going to be back at home against a division rival they love to beat down on, his little brother. Jordan Love might get up for this game. But having said that, I have to respect the Bears. This line is not respectful of the Bears. I have this at 3.5 in my game. Like, I think these two teams are neck and neck, very similar. I give 2 points to the Packers at home, and I do have the Packers as one better than the Bears right now. Even then, let's say we give an extra point. I have this game at 4.5. You're telling me this is 6.5? Getting 2 extra points. NFC, like divisional road underdogs, ATS, they're about a 500 team, but money line 11-24 on the year. It hasn't really gone great. So I think this is another game where these two teams are just as good as each other on the right day. 7 is such a key number, but I really think this ends in 4 or 6. I don't see this ending in 7 or more. And every time we think Green Bay is going to win by 7 or more, they don't really do it. And it's been that narrative all year. So why would it change now? I don't know. So I'm with you. Give me the Bears plus the 6.5.
There we go, buddy. Hallelujah.
Ugly fucking picks. Browns, Saints, Dolphins, Bears. What are we doing?
Honestly, I think if in the beginning of the year you told me that we were going to have a week like this, I don't know.
All right. Final 4:00 game on the Sunday night card. It's the Arizona Cardinals hosting the LA Rams, 9-3. Rams are now 10-point favorites. Coming off the loss against Carolina, minus 525. Cardinals are plus 10, plus 390. 47.5 is the total.
Who drove over here? Let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut?
Yep.
Steve had fire in his gut last week, that's for sure. He had fire in his gut today.
Don't worry. I'm going to put the bottle up. Don't worry. This is a bet that I'm going to have to martingale. I'm not happy. Not my best bet. Oh, man. I feel like if this isn't it, I'm going to have to count the losses at this point. I just don't see a side where the Cardinals are the right pick here. Sean McVay owns the Cardinals. In the NFC West circle, you mentioned it earlier with the AFC South, the NFC West is a circle. The Rams own the Cardinals. 14-3 under Sean McVay. They're 12-5 as a division road team since 2020. The Rams in Arizona, 7-1 straight up in ATS. Kyler Murray is now out for the season and looking at a potential trade in the offseason. Jacoby Brissett will be the starting quarterback moving forward. And I don't have hope for the Cards moving forward. And as great as Jacoby has looked, he's a losing quarterback. He's not a loser. Kyler Murray is a fucking loser. I respect the hell out of Jacoby Brissett. He's just not a winning quarterback. And all year, Coach Gannon has had a 500 ATS record in division games, but he's only 3-7 straight up. He's 1-3 ATS in division games this year. Oddly enough, though, 3-0 on the Niners. He's 2-0 against the Rams. Like, for whatever reason, ATS he covers. But this, to me, is like the Rams just if they had won and covered last week against the Panthers, I'd have faded the shit out of this number. But they lost to the Panthers. This same offense is now going against the Cardinals. What are they playing for again? What do they have to play for? I've seen this before with the Cardinals. This will be another 40-20 game. I hate to say it, and I'm only martingaling it because I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. The Rams will show up in the first half. They'll drive. They'll continue. The Cardinals will show up in the second half, and that'll be that. I don't really have any good feel otherwise. I think, for what it's worth, I hope Jacoby Brissett gets a starting job next year for Arizona. I think they really could build with him for the next 2 years, but this is like a lay down and die spot for them, in my opinion. So I'm going to back the Rams. I'm martingaling it, but it's disgusting.
No, I agree with you. The flow chart makes a lot of sense, and this just feels like the bounce back spot for the Rams against a team that they beat up on all the time. Not too much to add. I agree with you completely. I think the Rams are due for a bounce back. They're still a good team. The Carolina situation was unique because they were on the road, 1:00, against a team that's been a bounce back team kind of all year. But yeah, I think the Rams are out for blood this week, and I like Jacoby Brissett. He's a good bridge quarterback.
Kobe Brissett.
Yeah. Gannon needs to get some fire in his gut and get out because they can't win a close game, the Cardinals. But yeah, I think the Rams are the right side, and I would look Rams or nothing. I don't know if I'd want to play them at 10.5, but yeah, I think it's Rams or nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe the Rams team total would be the way to go.
Rams team total. I don't. Let me look at that. Looks like we're at 28.5.
A little high.
Yeah,
I would like below 27.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind 26.5. But the odds they're giving me are just way too low.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. I have nothing more for that one.
Over in that game, just to part of me wanted to do under, but I just think if it's going to go the way it goes, it should hit over. I mean, Cardinals are not for nothing, Their offense will get theirs, but that's the problem. They only get their 20, 22.
I can see them getting theirs late.
Yeah, backdoor.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, we're moving on. Sunday Night Football. The Houston Texans, 7-5, playoffs on the line, are traveling to Geha Field at Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, to take on Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Minus 210 for the Chiefs, plus 175 for the Texans. 41.5 is the total. Will I be blackout Bortles before this game starts, or will I actually stay up to watch this? Is the new bet of the week. I have a feeling I'm going to be blackout Bortles if this Raiders game goes to shit. Mansman, it's your turn. Sunday Night Football. Where are you going on this one?
Well, as you know, primetime Mahomes is hit or miss. Pretty much 500. Not great ATS. I don't know. This is so hard for me because I think the play that makes sense is Houston plus the points. Here's my fear. Houston has won a lot of games they needed to win in a row. Kansas City is at home, desperate in the elements for a win. I mean, I'm just thinking too, later in the year, are the Chiefs really going to be playing the Broncos on Christmas out of the playoff? Because essentially, if the Chiefs lose this game, they're done. They're out.
Chiefs are out for the division. They're not out for wild card.
No, I mean, if they lose this game, though, they're going to be 2 games back of Houston, 2 games back of Buffalo. Kansas City really needs to win this game. Kansas City hasn't been winning the close games. So if they're going to win, they're probably going to need to win by more than 3. Lean Kansas City, it's tough because, like, I think Houston's defense could stop Kansas City. I think we've seen Houston's playing better football. But I've said it before. It seems like every time the Chiefs are close to death, they get a big win to kind of like keep themselves on life support. And I just feel like this particular game, especially too, sometimes I think like of the NFL as a whole, like the Chiefs will get every break in this game because they need the Chiefs to win. You can't have the Chiefs lose and basically the Christmas game mean nothing. So I think the Chiefs are going to be into it. It's stupid, I know. I don't know. I can't see the Chiefs losing this game. I think they're going to win. Maybe I'm just hoping for it as a Bills fan. I don't know. I can't figure out if I want the Bills to make the playoffs or not. I'm kind of tired of watching this team that's making me suffer every week. But anyway, I just think the Chiefs are going to find a way to win. It's just a matter of whether they get the cover or not.
Fair enough. I do have the Chiefs winning as well. I have not given out one of my top 5 yet.
Killer whale, killer whale, killer whale.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's really bold. Okay. Wow.
That's Chiefs minus 3.5.
Wow.
You forgot death, taxes, the NFC West, the AFC South. The Chiefs own the Texans.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Listen to this. The Kansas City Chiefs historically have dominated in this spot against the Texans. 11-5 all time in NFL history. 5-1 with Patrick Mahomes. Since DeMeco Ryans came into the picture, the Chiefs have just dominated him even more. Each time they play, the Texans just score less and less points against the Chiefs. Listen to this. Last 5. The Texans scored 31, 20, tick up 30. DeMeco Ryans comes in 19, 14. I may have mentioned this in the Bills handicap. The Chiefs are literally in do or die mode. They cannot afford to lose another game this season just to make the wild card.
Yep.
And they're at home, which is the other difference. They are 4-2 ATS, 5-1 at home this year, even with all the troubles. A lot of their issues this year have been them on the road. And on top of that, they are in prime time, specifically Sunday Night Football, which is the one spot Mahomes does very well. Maybe not ATS, but since 2021, or specifically, if you go back to November of 2021, the Chiefs are, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are 10-1 in their last 11. Straight up.
Wow.
The Chiefs just win in this spot on Sunday Night Football. They're going up against a team who has a really good defense. I will grant you that. But what has CJ Stroud done all year offensively that makes you think, wow, he's going to go neck and neck against Mahomes, who, by the way, like quietly, because of the losses, Mahomes is like statistically having one of his best years of football. Like if they were a 12-2 team, he'd be MVP, like unanimous with the numbers he's throwing up, but he's 6-6. So now he's not even in the picture. But what else do I have? So at home, still super successful. They're also 5-1 to the under at home this year. They've held all their opponents to 20 or less. This Texans defense all year, they're only 2-4 ATS on the road. They've also held opponents to lower scores. Only one team has managed to score over 20 on this defense on the road, and that was the Seattle Seahawks. They're 4-2 in the under, so not only is this my best bet of the week, I am also doubling up. I am making this my under of the week, and I am taking the under 41.5 here. for Sunday Night Football.
Oh, can't go wrong with an under in a Texans game. Okay, wow. You definitely sold me. I was kind of on the Chiefs anyway, but can't fault you. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and for you score total people here, like I had this like 24-13. 27-13 could still hit the under. I see the Texans getting under 1.5 touchdowns in this game. May or may not have already bet that. I just don't know how Kansas City will score. I don't know if they're just going to drive and get 7 field goals and 1 touchdown, or if they're going to get 2 touchdowns and 3 field goals and just hold Houston. But like again, historically, Houston struggles in this spot. Kansas City, do or die on the line, Sunday Night Football. Love the spot for the Chiefs. So best bet and under of the week. Give me the Chiefs.
God, could you imagine being in Buffalo at that Bills bar where they're literally going to have to be rooting for the fucking Chiefs? That's going to hurt.
Don't make me fly out there.
That's funny.
I got to be smart, man.
Yeah, really.
All right, Monday Night Football. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles, fly, coming off of the loss on Friday to the Bears. They are 8-4, going to the LA Chargers, the only non-conference road spot this week. Chargers are catching 2.5 at home, plus 125. As a home underdog, minus 150 for the Eagles. 41.5 is also the total in this game. We've had a lot of 41.5 total games. Just one more in the fucking notch, but boy, oh boy. This is also the Toy Story game this week, so Disney is partnering up. No Manning cast. We're gonna have to watch fucking Toy Story. Or Jim Nance and Troy Aikman.
Wow. Big no, it's Troy Buck, right?
Troy,
No. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman.
not Jim Nance, Joe Buck.
Joe Buck.
Troy Aikman.
Honestly, I might watch the Toy Story.
You can't keep getting away with it.
What a horrible.
Whose go is it? Oh, it's yours. Finish it up. Strong.
Finish it up strong. I actually had the hardest. I had the hardest time with this one. So the Eagles are coming off that loss on Black Friday. They're getting the extra rest. But I think in their last 9, they're only 4-5 ATS with extra rest. They are a non-conference road favorite. Teams this year, the NFC has gone 15-8 ATS. Or, sorry, non-conference road favorites, so both sides. Non-conference road favorites are 15-8 ATS. NFC non-conference road teams, regardless, are 24-15 ATS. The Eagles in this spot are 7-1 straight up, 5-3 ATS in their last 8. In prime time, the Eagles have gone 6-2 in their last 8, going back to 2024. So it makes me immediately think that the Eagles are a good side. I'm getting a low number. What's the problem? The Chargers are my problem. They're undefeated in prime time. They're 4-0 straight up in ATS this season. I mentioned this, I think, the last game with, I want to say it was the Steelers. Where I was like, well, the Chargers have won and covered each game. Steelers haven't. Why stop now? I think this is where the Chargers got. And if the Chargers lose this one, boy, if Denver wins and the Chargers lose, I'd be happier than a pig in shit, because Chargers are only 2-2 straight up in ATS hosting the NFC with Coach Harbaugh. They're 1-4 as underdogs with him as well. What scares me is that the public is all over Philly in this spot. Yeah. I am very hesitant. The numbers currently on Monday Night Football, it looks like the Eagles are getting... Oh, come on. Did I just pass it? I think I passed it. Give me a second. Here we go. Yeah, Eagles are getting 90% of the money on the money line, but they're only getting 51% of the money on the spread. So earlier I made a handicap. It's like, wow, you like them to win, but you don't like them to cover 2. Seems fucking weird to me.
Well, maybe it makes
Or cover
sense
3, I should say.
maybe it makes sense because maybe it's just Barney. What they're doing is the Barneys that like the Chargers want the 2.5, but the Barneys that like the Eagles want the security of the money line. Maybe that explains it.
Well, and you know, think of it this way: 40 cents for 3 points seems like a fucking deal, right? Like, you know, and what I mean by that, when you look at this chart here, if I want the Eagles to win by 3, it's minus 110, so $11 wins 10. But if I want to win $10 back and just say fuck the points, well, I only got to pay $4 more. That seems like a pretty decent tax.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt the Sharps would agree with you, but I hear what you're saying. For Barney, it makes sense.
Yeah, for Barney it makes sense, but for us, it's like, well, wait a minute. If you like the Eagles, it should just be you like them to cover. Like I like the points here. I like they should win by 3. 3 is a decent number. If the Chargers are going to play close, I don't know if I like them to lose. I like them to win if they're going to play close. Look, so the public sentiment's there. It seems like the books have had a good read on this Chargers team, though, since Harbaugh came into the picture. Because, again, whenever the Chargers are listed as underdogs, they've only won once. They've only beat the books one time. And my instincts have been off lately because I initially wanted to take the Chargers. But with Omari and Hampton coming back, too, like I said, with the Bears handicap, the Eagles' rush defense has been shit. I think he could go yard. I have him at a 50 rush yards with plus money. I think that could be a huge win. There's a lot of props in this game I think you could have fun with. But this is a dome, prime time. I think Jalen Hurts gets right. I think Eagles come in. I think they win. I think they remind the world that they're the Super Bowl defending champs. You know, you're buying very low on an Eagles team. That's what this comes down to. So give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I guess I hear what you're saying, and it's not a strong play for me. I just think this Eagles team is, I don't know, I have concerns about the Eagles. Every year there's a team late that sort of sputters, and the Eagles kind of feel like that they could be that team. I don't know. I think here's my one concern with the Chargers is Justin Herbert kind of not fully 100%. He hurt his hand or his wrist during that Raiders game.
I forgot all about that.
You know, there's always the possibility that maybe he takes a hit and has some difficulties. But I don't know. It's hard for me to really back the Eagles as a road favorite in this spot just based on some of the struggles that they're having. And Harbaugh is a good coach. He could take advantage of it. I begrudgingly Chargers plus the 2.5. I don't know. It's weird because the Chargers were one of my favorite teams to start the year, and then in the middle of the year, I kind of went off of them. And I don't know, they quietly sort of have 4 losses. I feel like they're a lot worse than I thought they should be. I guess they still have a chance to win the division, but yeah, I don't know. I think the Chargers can keep it close and get it done. So I'll go with the Chargers, but not a great feeling, not incinerator or anything.
No, nothing like that.
Not a great feeling on that game by any means.
No. All right, that's it. We got through all 14. You survived.
We did it. Oh, barely.
Oh boy. All right, throw your top 5. I'll throw my top 5.
Yeah, right. So I gotta go with my best bet. So my best bet of the week, Cleveland Browns in the shit game of the year, minus 3.5 against the Tennessee Titans. I have the Bears plus 6.5 as my fade of the week against the Green Bay Packers. I have my dog of the week, our double dog, Jacksonville plus 1.5 in Indianapolis. As to my other 2, I got to go with the Steelers plus 6 That number is just too big for a rivalry like that. And then my other play, what do I like in my top five? Top five favorites. Trying to remember the games as to which ones I like the best. I am going to go with. I think you really won me over on Kansas City. I'm going to go with my fifth, Kansas City minus 3.5.
All right. There we go. God, did I do it in both? I sure shit did it in both games. Wow. Okay. So listen to this. These are going to be my best bets. So best bet of the week, Kansas City minus 3.5. Under of the week, under 41.5 in the same game. So that's going to be a parlay. That parlay right there. I got to build this. I have to build this. So bear with me, folks. I need to see what this looks like. All right. Next best bet. Give me the over of the week in Seattle, Atlanta. Give me the over 44.5. Also, really loved Seattle in that game. So we're going to throw them in as well in this same game parlay. Already we're at 11.5 to 1 on just those 4 legs. My fade of the week, give me the Cincinnati Bengals plus the 6 against the Buffalo Bills. We're now at 23.5 to 1. Give me my dog of the week. I want the Jacksonville Jaguars on the money line. We're now at 50 to 1. Oh boy. And then, yeah, so I guess that's my top 5. Kansas City, Seattle, Jacksonville, Cincy. I need to give a 5th. New Orleans plus the 8.5. It's already bet heavy into them, so I might as well throw them into. Let's see what happens. 100 to 1.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
and if I mentioned this too, a couple props. So Tyler Shuck. Let's make it an even 8.
Hey, bro, I think you have to come to my house because it's that time of year where funky shit happens when you play big parlays and come to my house. This is we're getting around the anniversary of the Blitz bet.
Oh, it's the Rush bet, not the Blitz.
Or the Rush bet, not the Blitz bet, the Rush bet. Yeah,
That's
you're right.
true. Actually, yeah, it was a year ago. It was 2 years ago today. Actually, I think we hit the Rush bet. So,
The Rush bet.
oof. Yeah, I think. Oh God, am I really? I'll have to build this later. We'll see how dipshit I really have to go here. Because if I throw Denver in, Jesus Christ, is that going to be that? Oh my God, 320. Okay, yeah, this is getting real dumb. All right, let's end the show. I'm out in Survivor. I have nothing left.
Yeah, no, I'm been dead. All right,
We'll call it a night. All right, thank you guys for watching. If you do tune in, I am Steve. My name is Sinnerman. Cinny.
the Cinnamon.
Yeah.
The Cinnamon. I'm Money Mansman signing off. Happy happy holiday season, everybody, and as always, go win that motherfucking money.
Have a good night, guys.